There are at least two people present right now. There's me, this ominous voiceover, and then there's you, the person watching this video. Now, chances are I've probably never met you before, but I can already say we have a lot in common with each other. I don't possess any mind-reading powers, I'm not a psychic. I can arrive at this conclusion because, regardless of your age, gender, ethnicity, religion, political beliefs, no matter who you are, we both require the same natural necessities of life in order to exist. Let's think about this for a minute. To sustain human life on this planet, we need food, water, air, warmth, some type of shelter, and a basic education. These are fundamental attributes every person all around the globe has in common. Unfortunately, we tend to ignore all the stuff that makes us the same, and instead we focus in on our differences, whatever we think they may be. A valid question in this equation would be, where do these differences come from, and why do we obsess over them in the first place? If you were to take a child at birth from Beijing, China, and raise that child in a traditional household in the United States, he or she would learn to embrace the culture of the United States. This child would learn to speak English with an American accent, and he or she would adopt the same general behavior and ideals like any other child raised in the same environment. Unless they were exposed to it, the child would have no knowledge of Chinese traditions, culture, religion, etc. This same outcome would apply to any child of any background, and vice versa. Let's say we were to raise another child in a very healthy and sustainable environment. This child would receive all the necessities of life along with love, care, attention, education, etc. Let's also assume that the only variable we control in this child's environment is that he never learns the existence of a gun. He will never acquire any knowledge of how to hold a gun, load a gun, or shoot a gun. If this child grows up and lives his life without ever learning about guns, he will never shoot and kill anyone. For this person to try and grasp the idea of a gun by himself would be like you trying to imagine a color you've never seen before. The gun concept is out of his frame of reference, and the color you've never seen before is out of your frame of reference. So what causes these differences that people get so worked up about? It's our environment. What we're exposed to when we're growing up is what shapes us into who we are and how we act. Our values, behavior, ideals, knowledge, and judgment, it's all learned. You're not born a racist, a gang member, corrupt, good, evil, liberal, conservative, religious. All of these things are learned. It's no coincidence that children end up the same religion as their parents, or someone who's racist coming from a racist family. As long as we keep practicing these false ideas, they will continue to pollute society for everyone. The point here is that we all share the same basic physiological needs. So why do we act like we're different from one another? Despite how different you think you are from someone else on any level, if you were to remove any of the necessities of life out of the environment, you would both die. We would all die. There is no exception for anyone. Whether we like it or not, we're stuck on this planet together. Why don't we start thinking in a new direction? Why don't we start bridging our differences and coming together as a species? If humans put aside their meaningless differences and work together rather than against each other, there would be no end to what we could accomplish.